Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Taiwan opposition set to reveal who will lead joint election bid. APEC summit upbeat on AI as US-China agree on dialogue. Hong Kong staunchly defends dollar peg even as property market falters. Pulling off a soft landing depends on the pilot. US removal of Chinese lab from entity list marks rare reversal. Taiwan opposition set to reveal who will lead joint election bid. Bloomberg. Taiwan's leading opposition parties, the Kuomintang, KMT, and the Taiwan People's Party, TPP, are working to decide which candidate will run for president and who will be their running mate in the upcoming election. The decision, which is set to be announced on Saturday morning, will be closely watched by voters and policymakers in Taiwan, Washington, and Beijing. The outcome of the election in January could determine the future of tensions in the Taiwan Strait, with a Beijing-friendly government potentially easing geopolitical flashpoints between China and the US. APEC summit upbeat on AI as US-China agree on dialogue. Nikkei Asia. Political and business leaders at the APEC summit in San Francisco expressed optimism about artificial intelligence, AI, emphasizing the need for cooperation and regulation of the technology. US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to establish an intergovernmental dialogue on AI. Tech executives from Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, and Meta welcomed the agreement, citing the importance of comprehensive regulation and international cooperation. The CEOs of Google and OpenAI stressed the need for dialogue between China and the US, stating that AI requires a common framework and regulation. Hong Kong staunchly defends dollar peg even as property market falters. Nikkei Asia. Hong Kong's currency peg to the US dollar is becoming increasingly difficult to defend, with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority intervening 49 times in the past year to maintain the currency within the official trading band. The peg is being blamed for Hong Kong's struggling real estate market, with higher interest rates on home loans having a negative impact on the housing market. Speculators are now targeting the currency peg, with some short sellers anticipating a scenario in which the peg is abandoned for political reasons. Pulling off a soft landing depends on the pilot. Bloomberg. The global economy's ability to achieve a soft landing has become a topic of interest in recent weeks. Soft landings, in which economic growth slows but avoids a recession, are rare. However, there is optimism that central banks' efforts to control inflation will not result in a downturn. Data suggests that it is possible for inflation to decline to 2% without a recession, although this outcome is far from guaranteed. Unemployment levels are also rising, which could indicate the possibility of a recession. However, it is still too early to determine whether a hard landing is inevitable. The absence of geopolitical triggers for a downturn is encouraging, although the behavior of oil prices is a cause for concern. Ultimately, the success of achieving a soft landing depends on the actions of central banks, particularly the Federal Reserve. U.S. removal of Chinese lab from entity list marks rare reversal. Bloomberg. The Biden administration has removed the Chinese Institute of Forensic Science from the U.S. Commerce Department's entity list as part of a deal to combat the fentanyl crisis. The move is seen as a concession to Beijing's complaints over U.S. trade restrictions. The Chinese police laboratory was added to the list in 2020 for being complicit in human rights violations and abuses in China's Xinjiang region. The entity list has been used for years as a tool to sanction individuals, companies, and organizations in China and elsewhere. Removing entities from the list is rare, with only about 7 being taken off each year since 2008. Xi's warm words jar with reality for foreign companies in China. Bloomberg. Chinese President Xi Jinping has promised to take more heartwarming measures to attract foreign businesses to the country, despite the fact that many companies have been facing increasing difficulties in China. The Chinese government has struggled to regain its footing in the wake of the pandemic, and the country's business climate has notably deteriorated in recent years. Strict COVID restrictions, investigations into foreign companies, and increased compliance risks due to sanctions from the US and Europe have all contributed to a decline in foreign direct investment. In addition, a recent survey by the American Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai found that respondents were the gloomiest they've been about the business outlook in decades. Many foreign firms are grappling with a range of challenges, including unpredictable regulation, concerns over employee safety, and curbs on transferring data overseas. As a result, some of the world's largest companies have transferred out key employees and hived off local operations. The challenges have also led some U.S. brands to look to move manufacturing out of China. Who wants to catch Jack Ma's falling knife? Bloomberg. Alibaba has suspended plans to spin off its cloud operations and paused the listing of its supermarket unit, causing its stock to drop and wiping $20 billion off the company's market value. Founder Jack Ma's family trust also plans to sell 10 million shares within the next week. The company is undergoing a major business revamp and has been replacing much of its C-suite, while also needing to spend billions of dollars on new fields such as generative AI. Investors are concerned about who will be held accountable for the company's future spending. Hyundai Motor, in first, to sell new cars on Amazon from next year. Nikkei Asia. Hyundai Motor has announced that it will begin selling its cars on Amazon in the US starting next year, becoming the first automaker to do so. The move was announced at the Los Angeles Auto Show, where Hyundai also revealed plans to install Amazon's Alexa AI speaker in its vehicles from 2025. Additionally, Hyundai named Amazon Web Services, AWS, as its preferred provider for its digital transformation. The partnership aims to improve the ease with which consumers can purchase vehicles online, according to Amazon CEO Andy Jassy. This comes as Hyundai expands its presence in the US market and builds a new EV factory in Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the sixth dimension, bringing you the latest news from around the world. Today, we've got a diverse range of stories, from the upcoming presidential election in Taiwan to the future of artificial intelligence at the APEC summit. We'll also take a look at the challenges faced by foreign companies in China and the recent developments at Alibaba. And lastly, we'll explore Hyundai's groundbreaking partnership with Amazon. So, let's dive in. Starting off in Taiwan, the joint election bid by the Kuomintang and the Taiwan People's Party has everyone on the edge of their seats. The outcome of this election could have significant implications for the Taiwan Strait and the geopolitical tensions between China and the US. Stay tuned as we learn who will lead this joint bid and what it means for the future. Next, at the APEC summit, leaders expressed optimism about the potential of artificial intelligence. The agreement between US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping to establish an intergovernmental dialogue on AI is a step in the right direction. Tech executives from major companies such as Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, and Meta are all on board, emphasizing the importance of regulation and international cooperation. Looks like AI is the talk of the town. Moving on to Hong Kong, the city is staunchly defending its dollar peg despite the struggles in the real estate market. Speculators are targeting the peg, anticipating its abandonment for political reasons. Hong Kong Monetary Authority has been intervening frequently to maintain the currency within the trading band. Will they be able to hold on, or is it time for a change? In the realm of global economics, achieving a soft landing is the name of the game. Central banks' efforts to control inflation are being closely watched, as a soft landing would mean economic growth slows without a recession. While the absence of geopolitical triggers is encouraging, rising unemployment and the behavior of oil prices are cause for concern. The pilot of this economic flight, particularly the Federal Reserve, holds the key to success. Shifting gears to US-China relations, the Biden administration has made a rare reversal by removing the Chinese Institute of Forensic Science from the US Commerce Department's entity list. This move is part of a deal to combat the fentanyl crisis. It's seen as a concession to Beijing's complaints over US trade restrictions. The entity list has been a powerful tool for sanctions, so this removal is a noteworthy development. Meanwhile, President Xi Jinping's promise of heartwarming measures to attract foreign businesses to China doesn't quite match the reality on the ground. Many companies have been facing increasing difficulties, from strict COVID restrictions to investigations and compliance risks. Foreign direct investment has declined, and even US brands are considering moving their manufacturing out of China. Will President Xi be able to turn things around and truly make China a welcoming place for foreign businesses? Now, let's talk about Alibaba. The company has hit a rough patch, suspending plans and causing its stock to drop. Founder Jack Ma's family trust also plans to sell shares. With a major business revamp and new fields to explore, investors are concerned about who will be held accountable for the company's future spending. Will Alibaba be able to weather this storm and come out stronger than ever? Lastly, we've got some exciting news from Hyundai Motor. They've announced plans to sell their cars on Amazon, a first for the automaker. Not only that, but Hyundai will also be installing Amazon's Alexa AI speaker in their vehicles. This partnership aims to make the car buying process easier and improve the overall customer experience. Looks like Hyundai is driving into the future with style. That's all the news for today, folks. Remember, the world is full of surprises, and it's up to us to make sense of it all. So, what are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any burning questions or perspectives to share? Let's open the floor to discussion and see what kind of ideas are brewing in your minds. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, this is Dr. Six signing off from the sixth dimension. Stay curious, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.